He's the man with 3 silvers, 2 Olympic, 1 World Championship. But Kenny Bednarek has had enough of being second best. NNIS Sports caught up with the American sprint star ahead of the Tokyo 2025 World Championships. His target, a golden hat-trick.
I'm very hungry. I mean, the past, Paris 1962 and then Tokyo 68, just kind of being this close to attaining the gold medal, being the second place for both, just added a lot more motivation for me. Yeah, I think I'm really close. I mean, this year in particular, the season's been going pretty well. I've worked on a lot of my weaknesses, and my strengths have been my top end speed. But my weaknesses is pretty much getting out of the blocks and just making sure just be in the pack and do the rest, just execute my race properly and all that. This year I've been doing that the best, and I feel like this year is going to be the year where I get my first gold medal.
Hungry and hurt, Kenny's been within touching distance of gold, 19.68 in Tokyo, 19.62 in Paris. The margins were razor thin. So, what's going to tip the scale?
I think, when it comes down to little details, reaction time, also just when it comes to mechanics, and that's what I've been improving on this year. Coming out of the blocks to 10 meters to 20 to 30 meters. I've been working on my acceleration phase, so in my drive phase, and that's something that I believe will tip the scales this year, just because that was something I was lacking in the previous years. I've always had the speed to, run fast, but the biggest thing was just getting ahead of the field in the beginning, and then also just maintaining the lead. In particular, when it comes to the 200, I always get out of the turn first, but I would always end up giving the lead back to the person that was behind me, just because I was always tensing up. And when you're tensing up in that race, you're going to decelerate at a faster rate than the other athletes, and that's the reason why I always ended up getting second. So it's just pretty much focusing on the block starts and then making sure that I honed in onto my technique, going off getting off the bend, and with the last 50 to 40 meters of the race, just being relaxed and just being aggressive. And I think those little things are going to tip the scales for me getting, that's going to be the difference between getting a silver medal and then the gold medal.
He's been the chaser. Now he's eyeing the throne. And make no mistake, Bednarek wants more than just a gold.
My goal is just to come out with 3 gold medals. That's what I wanted for the previous year at the Olympics, but there's a lot that I still need to learn. I think this year is the right year to put everything together and, come out with 3 gold medals. Leslie Tebogo, talented athlete. You got Noah, the world champion, Olympic champion.
Yeah.
Their season hasn't really started out the way they wanted, but I think they're going to be all right when the time comes. But right now, I'm just focused on me and just getting ready to line it up with those guys. I'm very confident in my skills this year, just because I think the biggest thing is I have a start now, and that's brought in a lot of confidence. And, with that, just getting reps after rep at practice and at meets, I think this year is going to be the year to get those gold medals.
But in the golden lane, there's always traffic. Reigning champ Noah Lyles and Botswana's rising star Letsil Tebogo. So who keeps Kenny up at night?
Honestly, both of them. I mean, they're both proven athletes. They both won their gold medals, and they do have better PBs than me. So, both of them are going to be challenged. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. I'm just going to make sure that I'm prepared to line up with, one or the other.
He's ranked number 2 in the 200 meters, number 4 in the 100 meters this year. Already clocked 19.57 seconds, the 8th fastest time ever. And yes, Bolt's record is on his radar.
That motivates me a lot. Last year, running 1957, I ran that actually in the cold in Zurich. It was 60-something degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but pretty chilly. It was late in the season. I think it was September, and it was raining that day. And I ran a PB in those conditions. So that was saying, hey, I'm in the 19.4 shape right now. I feel like Usain Bolt 1919. I think that's attainable. I just got to put a lot more hard work in, and I have to hone in on my skills and my technique and execute the race. And I think, in the coming future, there is a potential that I can reach or attain that level, but it's going to require a lot of hard work and sacrifices. But, running 1957 last year, when I ran that race, it felt easy. So I know there's a lot left in the tank. So this year, I'm trying to run something crazy. Don't really have a time in particular, but I'm going to take it year by year and just, focus on the progression every single year. And hopefully, we'll get to that level and break one of his records.
But to run like lightning, recovery is key. Behind the scenes, Kenny's days are long, hard, and hyper-disciplined.
Typical day. Depending on the day, I have practice Monday to Fridays. When we get closer to champs, we usually have practice Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But a typical day would be, practice at 9 a.m. and we don't get off the track until I say the longest day when we have block starts and speed work would be 11:30, 12. It takes long just because we have to stretch for about 30 minutes to an hour. Then we got to do our drills. And, we got guys in the girls group as well. So a coach has to pay attention to us, then he pays attention to the girls. So it takes a lot of time. And then after the whole workout, pretty much I'm dead by then. And then we have to go to the gym right after that. And that takes about an hour 30, depending on what we're doing. Longest days I usually had, I won't get home until like 2:30. So I have to eat my food and then I go straight to my physio who lives in a different town than me. So that's another 45-minute drive. I do a little extra routine with him, a little workout with him, some of the stuff that I feel like I'm missing when it comes to the weight room. I'll do like working on the ligaments of the body, working on just the fascia, releasing the tension and all that stuff. After that, I go home, get in the sauna. I either do that or do a contrast with getting in the cold plunge. You do that. And by 5:30, that's pretty much when my day is done. And then I can kind of relax and do whatever I want to do. But yeah, that's a typical day. It's a very long day just because, you get the workout in, but the key to getting fast and to, survive the sport is just recovery. So I do a lot of stuff when it comes to recovery every single day.
And while the Diamond League delivers big races and bigger checks, Kenny says it's the global stage that truly lights his fire.
Diamond League is just for me. It's an important race. I mean, the prize purse is nice. Also, you go all the way to the Diamond League finals and you get the trophies and you get the extra money. That's also nice as well. But I kind of use those meets as practice, just to focus on the small things in order to perfect my craft when we get into trials and then get into Olympics and world championships. So those are they're big meets, but I don't treat them as big meets. I put all my stock when it comes to trials and Olympics and world championships. So the pressure is more so on when it comes to Olympics. But I think that's something that I've done better at now. Whether it's a world champs, trials, or a Diamond League, I try not to put too much stock into it because I feel like if I add more pressure onto that race or that particular race, I'm going to get a little bit too amped up and too excited, and I'm going to try to do something that I shouldn't do, and that'll mess up my whole race plan. So I just go in now with, hey, this is just another race. Let's just focus on the things, execute, have fun. And after that, everything is fluid. I'm in the zone and I get a win in the race.
He's inspired by legends, driven by rivals, and powered by an unlikely source, love.
You're talking about my girlfriend?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So me and Sharmila Nicolette, we met each other in 2020 in the beginning of COVID. And she's one of the big reasons why where I'm at today. Coming out of college, I didn't really know what it was like to be a professional. And, she's been a professional her whole life pretty much and representing India and going on the different tours. She kind of gave me the blueprint on what it's like to be an athlete, what you need to do in order to be successful. She's the one that kind of helped me find, the right physical therapist, right dietitian, and a lot of other people. Like a lot of people that are part of my team is because she was the one that kind of helped find the right people and bring them in. But yeah, she's a big part of the reason why I'm 3-time silver medalist and hopefully, well, not hopefully, but soon to be gold medalist. She's been a big important for my career, and obviously relationship wise, she's had my back 100% of the time, and she was sneaking around here somewhere. But yeah, she, I ended up going to India one time like 3 years ago, but we made a goal to come to India every single year at the end of the year. So this year actually might be around Bangalore in September.
Kenny's not just a sprinter, he's a student of greatness. From Bolt to Blake, Messi to Steph Curry, his inspirations span the sporting world.
I would say Johan Blake. Johan was my favorite, I think, because he had that whole cheetah pizzazz and all that. And you also got Usain Bolt, Justin Gatlin. I mean, those were the three that I watched growing up, and those were the three that inspired me. I met both of them, Justin and Johan, but the only one I haven't met yet is Bolt. So, I'm hoping in the future that I get to pick his brain and understand what he was thinking about when he was an athlete and, how he conducted himself. I would say One in particular, I want to watch Stephen Curry.
Hmm.
He's the best shooter on the planet
Yeah.
and in history. So I think being able to watch him would be something really, really nice. I'd also say Lionel Messi. I haven't really watched soccer like that. I mean, I understand it, but I think it would be cool to watch one of the legends be able to play soccer and also be able to talk to him as well. And I guess the other person would be Aaron Rodgers. He used to play for Green Bay Packers. I'm a big Packer fan for American football. He ended up going to a different team, but I don't remember if I ever had the chance to actually watch him play. I've always watched him play on TV, but to be able to watch him play in person and actually get to talk to him, it would mean a lot just because I know he's a really good human and he's very knowledgeable about a lot of things.
But which medal meant more? The debut under a COVID cloud or the encore cheered on by thousands?
I would say toughest. I feel like the toughest one was my first one, just because I was a newbie, and also there was no fans there, no family, friends, or anything. I mean, we had to run the finals in an empty stadium pretty much. So mentally trying to lock in and realize like, hey, this is the Olympic finals. You got to run your butt off in order to get the gold medal. I think that was the hardest one, and also having the stress of COVID, waking up every day, taking a test, not
Yeah.
knowing if you were positive or negative. You also got the contact tracing, just everything. Like the whole thing was just a bubble, stressful situation. And for me, like it was my first Olympics ever, so I didn't know what to expect. And yeah, the funnest was last year, just because I had, the support team, family, loved one, friends. We got to go to the opening ceremony. I had the opportunity to go to a closing, but I ended up not going because I was tired. But to actually get the whole Olympic experience, once we were on the boat and it was raining, I didn't expect many fans to be out there to watch us. So my mindset was like, okay, it's raining, it sucks. There's not going to be people out here. And then once we kind of got to the point where we started seeing all the fans, like I was shocked because I didn't expect everybody to be out there in the rain with us. So that made me realize like, hey, we're at the Olympics. And going into the stadium, seeing all the thousands of people that were out there and just feeling that energy, it was something different. And it was very exciting, and I had a lot of fun. Just to be able to run in front of my friends and family, it just meant a lot to me.
Relentless training, sharper starts, a fire that refuses to dim. Kenny Bednarek is chasing more than medals. He's chasing greatness. And in Tokyo 2025, he's aiming to finally trade silver for gold. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Will he do it? The clock is ticking.